Welcome to Talks with Dr. Gupta and friends. Today's deep dive feels less like a tech review and more like a status report from the future. It is February 2026, and we're unpacking a pivotal conversation between AI educator Sebastian Roschka and researcher Nathan Lambert. Hosted by Lex Fridman, we are now 1 year removed from the moment that reshaped the global AI narrative. Early 2025, when a Chinese lab released a model called DeepSeek that matched Western state-of-the-art performance at a fraction of the cost. Until then, the dominant belief in the West was comfortable and confident. China was years behind. That illusion shattered overnight. What followed was a fundamental split in strategy. US labs doubled down on closed models, selling intelligence as a service through APIs. Chinese labs moved in the opposite direction, releasing open-weight models and handing developers not just access, but control. This wasn't generosity. It was strategy. Locked out of Western enterprise markets by sanctions, trust barriers, and data security concerns, Chinese labs made a different bet. If they couldn't sell the service, they would dominate the infrastructure. They would win developer mindshare and become the default foundation others build on. And yet, by 2026, a paradox emerges. Despite the excitement around open models, when the work truly matters, complex reasoning, large documents, production code, people still pay for US models. Because reliability, not openness, remains the killer feature. That reliability comes from a deeper technical shift. In 2026, AI isn't just bigger, it thinks differently. The era of easy gains from scaling is over. Pre-training on the open internet now costs billions, and doubling model size delivers diminishing returns. So labs changed how models learn. The breakthrough is reinforcement learning with verifiable rewards. Instead of humans judging answers by taste or tone, models are rewarded for being objectively correct. Code that compiles, math that checks out, logic that holds. This forces models to reason. They begin to generate chains of thought, to pause, reflect, notice contradictions, and self-correct mid-solution. Not because they're conscious, but because the training rewards structured thinking. This unlocks what already existed inside the model. Not new knowledge, but better access to it. The result resembles Daniel Kahneman's System 2 thinking. Slower, deliberate, logical. And that changes how we use AI. In 2026, we're willing to wait. 10 seconds, 20 seconds. We trade speed for intelligence. We pay for inference time, for the model to think before it speaks. To enable this, data itself had to improve. Labs moved beyond messy internet text, digitizing millions of textbooks, papers, and manuals, and using synthetic data to clean and curate knowledge. The model was no longer scrolling social media. It was studying in a private library. The most visible impact of this shift is in software development. By 2026, surveys show that a quarter of developers say half their code is AI-generated. But the surprise is who uses it most. Senior developers, not juniors. Experience brings taste. Senior engineers can instantly judge whether AI output is solid or flawed. They use AI to skip the desert of debugging and focus on architecture and intent. But this creates risk. If juniors skip the struggle entirely, they never develop that taste. This leads to vibe coding, managing outcomes instead of understanding systems. Code ships because it works, not because it's understood. Technical debt accumulates invisibly. Because AI intelligence is jagged. It excels at common patterns and collapses on novelty. Treat it like a god and you will get burned. Treat it like a powerful but uneven tool, and it becomes transformative. This raises a deeper concern: the loss of joy in craft. Debugging is painful, but solving a hard problem is deeply satisfying. If AI removes all struggle, we risk burnout not from overwork, but from meaninglessness. Looking ahead, New architectures like text diffusion hint at faster generation, while robotics remains constrained by the messy reality of the physical world. Safety thresholds in the real world are unforgiving. So what's the advice for navigating all this? Build, not just applications, but understanding. Write small models. Learn the mechanics. Know where systems fail. Because agency comes from comprehension. The struggle isn't a bug. It's the feature that keeps humans relevant. In an age where machines are learning to think slower, perhaps our competitive advantage is the same. Patience, depth, and the willingness to understand before we automate. Stay safe, stay curious, and happy new thinking.